Well, good morning. Coming from my lakefront property here in Utah. Yes, this could be my new home. I don't know how long I'm actually allowed to camp out here. It didn't say on the sign, but if it's that 14-day rule and then you move 30 feet another 14 days, you could essentially just live out here. It got cold last night though. Got down to 27 degrees. And I'm guessing it was probably 27, like at the lowest point, maybe 4 or 5 this morning, because none of my water outside froze. There was frost on some things, which makes sense when it gets that cold. But yeah, warmed the truck up this morning, did a little video editing, waited for the sun to come up. Now I'm gonna go for a walk. Got my hot chocolate. Conditions, check out the old windsock here. Conditions are definitely great for flying, but it hasn't broke 32 degrees yet, and I'm not interested in freezing my butt off this morning. So I'm just going to enjoy the peace and quiet and let other people in the area enjoy the peace and quiet and not have the paramotor buzzing the lake. Hopefully later today. It's supposed to get up in the 60s today. I don't know what the wind conditions are going to be like because I have no internet service. So I am going to head into town there today though. I want to just check out that general store, see if they have anything that I might need. I do need some more LP. My fireplace went out last night. Usually lasts about 3 days, but I forgot how long I was staying at that place on the border of Arizona and Utah. So ran out of LP. Ate my last steak last night, so probably need to get couple food supplies. I've done pretty well outside of getting a couple slices of pizza the other night. I pretty much ate from my cooler, so it's worked out pretty well. Okay, I'm just gonna enjoy this walk. There's something about this sun in this area of the country that as soon as it comes out, it really warms things quickly. Tennessee sun is very similar, but it's got to get a little bit higher in the sky. I mean, it started out pretty cold this morning. You can feel the air has a chill, but once that sun hits you, it feels awesome. I had to turn my heated jacket off, take my gloves, take my hat off. I was just getting too warm. Anyway, there's this little town over here. Not really a town, but I think it's like an RV park. They got a general store, they've got a couple things. So I'm gonna check that out later. I need to try to get some video uploaded and just touch base with work. Not having a signal is awesome for the peace and quiet, the serenity, but not when you have a few things you gotta take care of. So anyway, I'm gonna walk back to camp and then we'll maybe meander over to that area. Might take the motorcycle over, I'm not sure yet. I tell you what, we got some frigid temperatures in Utah. Not frigid, it's probably in the 50s, but the wind's blowing pretty good. I'm up on a hiking trail. I rode my V-Strom up here. It's an amazing view. So the V-Strom struggled a little bit because it's real rocky. Like, look at this. This is an example of what the road is like. There's these rocky patches that, being as heavy of a bike as it is, it just struggles a little bit and dances around. But anyway, there's a little hiking trail down here. I thought I'd walk down and see where it goes. Today's been a pretty low-key day with the high winds, no flying. I was able to get over to the local, they've got like a little general store. And just as I pull up, the place is like dead, nobody's there. Just as I pull up, about 13 or 14 ATVs and little dirt bikes pull up. And it's this big family who has one of the cabins that I saw earlier up on the hill. And they're doing like a big family get together. I thought that was really cool. Some adults and some kids, and they all rode from the cabin down on all these machines. It was kind of cool. So anyway, the kids are having fun in the store and getting snacks, and I just waited around and talked with them for a little bit. Then I got my tank of LP propane filled up, and they had Wi-Fi there. It wasn't the best signal, but it was pretty decent. So I drove back to camp, dropped off the propane tank, came back with my laptop so I could actually get a little bit of work done. And it worked out pretty well. So now, before dinner time, I know as soon as that sun goes down, it's going to get cold very fast because of this wind. So I wanted to take advantage of a little bit of outdoors time before that happened. So I decided to drive up the top of this hill, and then I didn't realize it, but there's a nice little hiking trail. Thought we'd go for a little hike. So this is the side that I wanted to get to flying yesterday. Fly over to that location to check it out. I was hoping the winds would be good today, but no. Yesterday was good winds, and it's just gusty today. The winds are stronger and it's gusty, so not a whole lot of fun. But what happens when I have days like that, either it's too cold or it's windy or I'm in a spot that I can't fly, it opens up the door to do other things like hiking, finding an adventure like this. You know, let's see where this trail takes us. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty impressive view as we get around the corner here. Everybody gets to see it. Look at that. That is amazing. Now on the camera, it looks so much farther away than it is. This phone is a Galaxy, I think it's an S8 maybe, the Note. And I've had this for a couple years now, and it takes amazing photos. But the standard photo range, I don't know if there's a problem with that lens, it's blurred. So it's either doing the distance image or the close-up. So I can't show you how absolutely amazing this is from the real perspective. Look at this. Now my campsite is just over that ridge right on the water. I'm gonna stand this way in hopes that the wind's not too bad. It's windy up here. I have no idea what the gusts are. I'm guessing somewhere around 25 miles an hour. So, good day for hiking, not a good day for flying. So, I talked to one of the local guys here. He was running the general store, and he said summer is of course their busy time. They'll fill up all the campsites. But I tell you what, I would definitely sacrifice warm weather for just having the place to yourself. It's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous not having people here. It's almost like it's authentic land. Like this is the way the land has always been. You know, I can't imagine looking over that lake and seeing hundreds of campers out there. I just can't imagine. One of the guys I talked to at my last stop where I stayed on the lake, he said during the summertime it'll just be like a city down there with campers, people staying on that lake. Wow, that is not a place I would want to be. at that time. So anyway, tomorrow, when I had my Wi-Fi down at the general store, I got a little bit of work done. I got a video uploaded, and I also found a place to stay tomorrow night. I've been looking at, I didn't want to do a hotel, but I thought if I could find a decent VRBO or an Airbnb, that I would do it. And this was 200 bucks. It's a nice place. It's a little house on this ranch. From what I've seen in the reviews, it looks like a pretty nice spot. So it'll just be a place to kind of reset, take a real shower, do some laundry, get on my computer, get some videos uploaded. It took an hour and 20 minutes to upload a video at that little cafe or that little general store. So just to have a little bit of time to do that. Conditions might be good enough for flying tomorrow. I did ask them. They said that there's BLM land close by them that I could go fly from. So if that's the case, that's going to be awesome tomorrow night. Otherwise, it's just going to be another adventure. We'll see what happens. Well, that was a pretty awesome hike. Glorious views. I wanted to stress again this motorcycle and having the appropriate gear. You know, it's windy out, and it's, like I said, it's in the 50s, and a lot of people are looking at me funny riding a motorcycle around. I've got one of these Milwaukee heated jackets. Now, I haven't even had to use the heated component while I'm on the motorcycle. It's windproof as well. So it's insulated, it's very warm. I've got these gloves, which are thin, but they actually keep your hands pretty warm. I've got the heated grips. My helmet is very well insulated. So you can ride in conditions like this and it still be very comfortable. So, man, I'm not complaining at all. Now the pants that I'm wearing, these guys, funny enough, I just got these at Walmart. I think Wrangler might make them. I need to actually get some more. They've got like a fleece liner on the inside. I use them when I paramotor in the cold, and anytime the temps are cold. They're very warm, but they're thin, lightweight. Yeah, you wouldn't know the difference that they actually had a liner on. So, have the right gear, you guys will be all set. You can tackle any weather. All right, time to get on the motorcycle, get back down this hill. I'll show you. Whoa, there comes some more winds. You can see in the background, this is the road that I travel down. It winds its way down. Like I said, it's a little bit rough in a few spots, but the motorcycle can handle it. I can handle it. All right, let's head back to camp. Now, we haven't talked too much about how we cook at the old Adam's kitchen. It does vary depending on the day. Today's a little bit windy, so I'm setting my stuff up in the back of the truck so the wind doesn't affect the burner or the grill. A lot of times I set things up on the table out here. Sometimes I just boil water and I'll make a soup or oatmeal or something like that. So this cooktop stove right here, these things are amazing. They run on these little, I think it's a kerosene gas canister, and they last a long time. I haven't changed it yet once, and I've used it quite a bit on this trip. This is just an old charbroil grill. I've had this for a few years. It's rusty and old, and I debated getting a new one before this trip, but it still works. You turn her on, you gotta light her up, put the grate down, and that's all there is to it. I'm just making some macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. I'm at the very bottom of my cooler supplies for food. So it's either that or I've got some soup, and I had some soup for lunch, so I thought, well, let's use up the macaroni and cheese. That's all there is to it here. Now, water storage is an important part of a trip like this. Granted, there are places you can sometimes get water, but when I left, I had this big jug, 5 gallons of fresh water. I've got, you guys have seen this little guy here a few times. I use this in my toy hauler camper as well. I've got a spot I built for it. But it's got this little spigot on it and a little dial. Holds water nice, easy to fill. That's why I keep fresh water as well. And then of course, that tank, which I use for showers or if I need to spray things down. So that's enough water. That lasted me about 6 days before I needed to add water. And for the fresh water, I just went to Walmart and bought a bunch of the 1 gallon. I think I bought 6 of those gallons for $6. Obviously there's places you can get fresh water. Kind of depends on what you want to do with that. I did get some potable water from that one place I stayed at, the state park, but when I filled up my jug, it just had this weird tint to it. I'm like, I am not going to be drinking that. So anyway, that works good for showers if you just need to clean up or scrub up something like that. So anyway, that's how we do it for food. Pretty simple. So we're going to take it easy tonight. I was so this close to taking off. I measured the winds and it was 9 or 10, gusting about 12. So not a huge issue with wind. Probably not too much different from yesterday. Let me show you the windsock here. So it's definitely flyable. It's cooling off now and the sun's going down, so I probably only got about 20 minutes. It'd be a quick flight, take everything out. So I'm just gonna hold off and hope for a good flight tomorrow evening. So let's go from there. Time to get some food. Sun's coming up over the mountains and it looks beautiful. So I got up about 6:30 this morning. I threw my sleeping bag over my normal blanket last night because it got kind of cold and that kept things nice and toasty all night. So I'll have to remember that in the future. I woke up and I started up the truck this morning and the temperature says 37 degrees and I just got all excited. I'm like, wow, it's 37? It's nice out this morning. It's funny how your perspective changes when you have a previous night of 27 when you wake up and there's frost all over everything. So 37 is pretty comfortable. I don't even have a jacket on right now. I'm acclimating back to my Minnesota roots apparently. So anyway, yeah, last night was really good. Slept well. I'm really getting used to the truck. You know, I've watched videos in the past where people sleep in their car and I've always wondered, man, that's such a tight space. How do you get comfortable and get used to that? But it's funny because the more nights I spend in there, you know, you have a placement for everything and you get used to the more compact area. And I don't know, I could definitely see how you'd acclimate to that pretty well. So anyway, it's been going good. I am getting that, renting that little house today over near, right on the edge of Colorado and Utah. About a 4-hour drive. So we'll hit the road here within the next couple hours. I'm going to just enjoy the morning. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait on flying. It's cold still, you know, still 30, in the 30s is cold for flying. I see a guy just setting up down there for fishing. And then there's a couple who are tent camping up in the parking lot behind me. So I don't want to bother people too much this morning. Anyway, great way to start the day. It's crazy how the sound travels out here. There's a camp, or not a camp, some people fishing. They pulled in this morning and they're probably about 1,000, I'd say 1,000 yards from my camp. And I can hear them. I can't hear their words, but I can hear them mumbling. And it's just crazy how, I suppose it's just so wide open. So as I'm mumbling to myself on this walk, I'm thinking, what if who can hear me? So what I'm mumbling about this morning is this vacation is coming to a close. Today's Monday. Technically my plan is to be back Friday. I need a couple days of actual road time to get back, so realistically I've got 2 or 3 more days before I need to head back. Now I travel quite a bit for work. Travel up north every month or two. That's a 14-hour drive. I usually stay 5 to 7 days. And when I'm ready to go home, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to get back into my routines. Just be in my own space. I like my life at home. I do. This trip is different though. I think a big part of this trip was to get away from those routines and to just experience something different. And as you've seen from my videos, I've had some of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in my life. And it's just day after day. And even the down days, the days like yesterday where I didn't fly, I took the motorcycle out for a couple little jaunts. I worked on the computer. I just chilled out and enjoyed the day and the weather. That's just amazing. So I'm kind of in this weird place right now where I'm not ready to go home. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard for me to even rationalize because I do have a good life and I've got really cool people in my life, and I don't know, there's something about needing this time away. Maybe I just need more of it, or more often I need it. I'm not sure. But it's definitely inspired me to understand myself better and what's important. What's important for me, what's important for my mindset. And how do I want to really live my life, you know? I think of how much drama I've allowed into my life over the last, I don't know how many years. Probably ever since my daughters were born. It seemed like drama with my daughter's mom, some relationships, my business. And, you know, I keep perspective on everything, or I do my best, I should say. I don't think my life is on the spectrum of difficulty. It's not anywhere close to even what probably the average person struggles with. And I'm not just talking about in this country, I'm just talking about in the world. So I try to keep that in mind, that the drama that I've had to go through and the challenges I've had to go through are, some of them self-inflicted. I'll be totally honest with you. I make good decisions. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't have any really bad habits. Outside of, I have a sweet tooth. But I work out and I try to take care of myself. And the issues I've brought into my life, I have regrets over, but I've learned from them. And I think for me right now, during this growth stage, is to figure out how to minimize future drama. You know? I was up on top of that mountain yesterday. This one right behind me back here. I don't know if you remember, I took the motorcycle up there yesterday. And I remember just staring at everything, sitting there thinking, I can do whatever I want. I have full control over my happiness. And what I mean by that is, if I want to fly somewhere, I'm going to fly somewhere. If I want to hop on in my car and drive out to Utah, I can drive out to Utah. If I want to bring happiness to my life on a day-to-day basis, I have control over that. If I don't want drama in my life, I have control over that. And it really comes down to making clearly defined decisions in your life on what you will allow in it and what you want out of it. So it's inspirational. This experience has been inspirational for me, and a lot of these things I've already thought. I already know this. You know, most of us know on a basic level that we have control over our destiny, our life, our happiness, and all that. We know that, but implementing it is something far different. And that's really what I want to do, is focus on the implementation, not just the knowing. So one of the big reasons I'm making this video series is it's my mental reminder. I'm gonna go back and watch it and experience it again and realize that this isn't just a one-time, oh, look at this one adventure, and 5 years from now I'll look back and say, I remember when I did this. No, it's an inspiration to maintain this lifestyle, to maintain this level of happiness. So you got to go back home. If I didn't have my children, I don't think I would have to go back home. If I didn't have my kids, I could call a broker, say, hey, put my house up for sale. I'll come back in a month, clean some things out, grab what I need or want to keep, sell off some things, and I just live like this for a while. You know, this isn't a lifestyle. I think I could do it for a while until I found a home, like found a place that I'm like, this is where I want to settle down. You know, this particular area, and I don't know, you know, you really have to spend some time somewhere. You can't spend a few days and say, oh, this is where I want to call home. Because if in the summer this is packed full of people and it's busy and noisy, and there's no way I even want to live up on the mountain, because I'm going to have to deal with that noise and traffic. But getting a little further out and exploring and finding those places that aren't tourist destinations but still offer this kind of beauty, it's really what I'm looking for. So with how much land is out here, they're talking about millions and millions of acres. Man, there's got to be a private spot somewhere. You might have to pay for it, right? You're gonna have to pay for that, but anyway, an amazing trip thus far, and it's not over yet. I still have a few more days, but as it starts winding down, there's just this recognition that this feeling is temporary, and I need to figure out how to bring this feeling into my life on a more permanent basis. And that doesn't require travel like this, extreme travel of, hey, I'm going to head to Utah or Wyoming, or, you know, there's a lot more places to explore. It just means maintaining this internal feeling. How do you do that? Here's a good example. I'm going to give you guys a real world example of how to maintain this heightened feeling right here. Don't get stuck in ruts. Wasn't that like perfect timing? You think I planned this? When I saw that, that was what I thought. Don't get stuck in life ruts. And whether that's work, a relationship, just a mindset, habits, bad habits, the rut you should get stuck in is having that mental focus of, this is the path I want in my life. And how do I facilitate that? What do I need to do to make that happen as much as possible? And it's not just about money. I mean, granted, the more money you have, the more experience you have. I was talking to this guy yesterday. Him and his family own, I think he said 6 acres up on that mountain, and they live in one of those cabins, or they all meet there 4 or 5 times a year. And I'm like, that family's obviously got some money. They were able to buy that. They've got a cool place that they can all come to. Money helps, don't get me wrong. But I've been living this way for 12 days now. And I don't know what my total is. Gas has been my biggest expense so far. I'm guessing I've spent maybe $400 in gas. But because I've traveled so much, I've moved around so much. This whole 2-week trip, including staying in this VRBO for one night, I'm guessing I've done it for around $1,000 to $1,200. Now, I know for some people that is a decent amount of money. When I think about if you're paying rent somewhere, you're probably spending that in utilities every month. And there's a lot of these places you can go and stay at for 14 days and there's no fees, no costs, anything. So if you wanted to do this in a way that was more cost effective, that's what you would do, is travel somewhere to some BLM land and stay there for 2 weeks. And you don't have the gas costs, you don't have a hotel cost, or you just exist. Food is really your only cost, right? So anyway, there's ways to do it, and there's ways to live the way you want to live. And obviously this way of living isn't for everybody. Some people want the condo downtown New York, which there's not one little part of me that would even want that on any level. But we all have our own thing. And I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're probably more along my mindset of looking for opportunity to just get out and see nature and fly or ride your bike or just explore, Anyway, sun is coming up. It feels so nice. I'm guessing the winds are probably going to pick up here in a little bit, but we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up this walk and soak it all up before I hit the road. Well, it's about 9:10. I set my windsock up. I pulled the motor out. I got the blades ready to put on, and I was watching that windsock, and it was just it wasn't a steady wind. It was gusty. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So I thought, okay, well, I'll put everything away. So as I'm packing up, all of a sudden the winds just started picking up again, kind of like yesterday. So I made the right call not to fly. It would have been an interesting landing coming in with those kind of winds. So anyway, I'm all packed up. I'm definitely getting more efficient with my packing skills. Just knowing where everything goes and doing it in an efficient way. Anyway, so sad to see this place go. I've got it on my map, so I will return at some point. Hopefully sooner than later. All right, hit the road. So I was just texting my buddy Travis about where I'm at right now, and I passed a sign that said I'm at 8,500 feet. Coming through the Rocky Mountains. 8,500 feet. So it's hard to understand that, and I've never put much thought into it. I've gone hiking up in the mountains in Colorado, and I've climbed up to 85, I think it was 9,500 feet, and I've never really put that into perspective when you're at ground level in, say, Tennessee, which is about 900 feet above sea level. So when I go flying, the highest I've flown a paramotor, I think, was 4,800 feet, which minus the 900, so you're looking at around 4,000 feet above the ground. And I felt high. I mean, I was way the heck up there. And that is about half the height of what I'm at now driving my car. It's really interesting when you think about that perspective and how that all works, and just the way the ground, the land, just continues to climb from the coastlines to this part of the country anyway. Just amazing to think about. I can't even imagine flying. That means I'd have to fly up to 7,600 feet on my paramotor in Tennessee to be at this height right now that I'm driving at. Wow, it just blows my mind. So next time I get up to, or when I get up to that height, it's going to be an interesting perspective to see how high that actually is. So, all right, a lot of time to think. So I'm driving through this town of Loa, L-O-A, Utah. And it's just a tiny little town. Like I said, there's a big plain out here in the middle of the mountains. You've got mountains on all four sides of you, and this part is recessed down. Somehow that was created, I'm not sure. But there's cattle farms and ranches, and anyway, this little town, I've got this craving. I haven't had a McDonald's sausage egg McMuffin for, I don't know, weeks and weeks it's been. And I thought, that sounds really good since I haven't had any breakfast this morning. This little town has nothing of chain. No chain restaurants, no chain grocery stores, gas stations. Everything is just local. It's really cool to see a town that hasn't been infiltrated with the monopoly of McDonald's or grocery store food chains. You know, there's still small town businesses that can exist. Very cool. This is a place I wish I could explore a little bit more. See, the downside of making that reservation, and this was a big reason I didn't want reservations, is I want to be able to just go. If I find something cool I want to explore and stay at, that's what I'm going to do. And this would be an area I would settle in and just cruise around and check out a little bit. It'd be a cool flying area if conditions warranted, just because it's such a wide open space. But I've already paid for this place, and I've got about a 3-hour drive to get there, so lesson learned. Don't book things like that. I'm in one of the most amazing places I've ever seen. It's crazy because when I see something cool, I think, oh, this has to be the most amazing place. And then I come across another spot and I'm like, wow, this has to be. And then now, once again, this is absolutely gorgeous here. This red rock, and it's just cliff after cliff after cliff. Man, I gotta fly here at some point. Torrey, T-O-R-R-E-Y, Utah. I believe I'm still in Utah. Otherwise it would be Colorado, but there's a lot of camping places here, and once again, having a place booked, man, this would be a cool place to experience, spend some time at. So, mark that on your map for your next travel destination, and I will be marking that on mine.
Damn this wretched body, it's broken down and aching, fears, and I can't seem for the life of me to hold back these tears. Now they're flowing like a river alongside the remnants of my soul. I'm strung out in the heartland alone, and damn this restless labor, it's a blessing and a curse. I work all day and turn all night just to hide you from my hurt. At the end of my road, I got nothing left to show. Oh no, I'm strung out in the heartland alone. Strung out in the heartland, losing my mind. Strung out in the heartland, biding my time. No one remembers your name. Why would they? When you're strung out in the heartland alone. Strung out in the heartland, losing my mind. Strung out in the heartland, biding my time. No one remembers your name. Why would they? When you're strung out in the heartland alone.
This has been one amazing drive through Utah. I had to backtrack and get some video footage because it was so gorgeous. I just wanted to capture it. I pulled off on this area. I'm assuming I could probably camp out here. I won't be tonight though, but I did want to just check it out, explore a little bit. These trees, I've been seeing these trees along this drive for a while. Look at the bark. Look at that thick bark on this thing. That is amazing. And part of them is dead, and then the other part have these beautiful green leaves on them. And they're all over out here. I'm not sure what kind of tree that is. And then you've got this ground. Check this. I don't know what this is. It's like sand, hardened sand, but it's all cracked. So I don't know if this was wet at some point and it's now dried up so it cracks. I see there's maybe a little path over here for where some water used to flow. It's hard to say. Look at this. These little tracks of something walk through it when it was muddy. I don't know what kind of prints those are. But it's not muddy anymore. It's solid now. I can walk on it. I don't leave any prints behind. But this is just gorgeous. I've been driving through so much different landscape in just the last couple hours, and there was this one part where it was just gray and dead. There wasn't life anywhere. And then just 20 minutes down the road, you've got this area where it's just green and it's lush. It's beautiful. I don't know if this is still state land or federal land. I'm not sure, but this would be a cool place to camp. Very cool place to camp. So I made it to the VRBO and I went inside, took a shower. Wow, that was amazing. Got cleaned up, went to the grocery store, got a few things, but this is this place. I'll give you a quick tour. Their main house is back there, and this is like a small little, like a mother-in-law type suite, but actually it's got a full bathroom, full kitchen. This is what we're looking out at here. And I was hoping by choosing this spot I would have a place to launch my paramotor, but he said no, we can't do it from here, but there's BLM land, so I went and checked that out. It's going to be perfect. So I'm going to get all set up in the morning, and hopefully wind's doing well in the morning, we're going to get some awesome flying. Plus there's a cool OHV park, so I'm going to bring the Sur-ron and have some fun on that too. So this day just turned into an awesome day. Pretty nice place, considering I've been sleeping in my truck for the last week and a half. Any place probably seems amazing, but I get to make some real food tonight, just chill out, get some video stuff done. I'll get the paramotor and everything ready for tomorrow, and the adventure begin. Okay, everything's prepped up for the morning. We'll just hop in the truck. Take us about 10 minutes to get over there in the morning. Let me just grab some of my warm gear. I'll have everything inside tonight, so I'll just get dressed, hit the road.